It seemed like tonight you were a lot more aggressive in there and looking for the finish as opposed to maybe some of your last fights where you would maybe prefer submission over going for this or the position over the submission. Was that something you saw in Neil's game that you could take advantage of?
No, it's just, something that I was developing. I was trying to develop it. My last fight against Lafleur, I think I didn't hit too much when I was in the dominant positions. And I knew if I, was able to hit with a little bit harder, my opponent would open space. I wouldn't, I couldn't do in the last fight, but this fight I trained for that, and it works.
Yeah, and this was your 21st UFC fight. You're 37 now. People are wondering, maybe you're fighting a guy who was on a win streak. Are you, on the tail end of your career? Those kind of things. Do you feel like you're still in your prime, and you're on a 3-fight winning streak now? Where do you feel like this win puts you in the division?
I hope, number 6. I hope, it drops like a couple positions. I feel in my prime. That's something that is very strange, because a lot of people in this age they start to slow down. But for me, I feel every fight I feel better. I was talking to my coaches. This fight I never been so ready for a fight. Like my conditioning, my techniques, was the best. The best that I ever had.
How important was it for you to come here and finish a fight? Since 2012, you didn't finish a fight. How important was it for you?
Yeah, it's always when you submit the fight or knockout, it always put you in the different spot. The people see you with different eyes. I know I can submit the fights, and I know the guys are prepared for that. I need to change a little, stuff in my game like I did for this fight, and I know I'll be able to submit again.
Sergio Moraes was the last man to beat Magny in Rio and submit him. Did you watch that fight? Did you see any openings in that fight to take advantage today?
Yeah, I watched all of his fights, but I knew he was tough. He resists a lot. I saw some guys attacking his neck and he wasn't, tapping. So I knew it was going to be hard, and he was defending well. But I'm able right now. I've been training a lot of wrestling the last 5 years, and I'm pretty much. I feel like I can take down anyone in the division.
And people, right after this win, people say the fight they wanted to see was between you and Gunnar Nelson. You're both amazing on the ground. Is that a fight that interests you? Maybe in October in Dublin. Is that something It seems like all the fans want to see that fight.
I just fought. I just want to come back, see my family, see my kids, and next week we're gonna start to think about who is next. I don't know who is next. I will talk to my manager Eduardo. He's also my head coach, and he will decide with the UFC. For me, it doesn't matter.
Your last loss was to Rory. What do you think? How many wins do you think you have to get to a big fight again?
That's a trick question. You never know. UFC, you never know. I always say that. I remember when I I was winning like 11 fights in a row. Then I lost to Nate Marquardt. Then a lot of people asked me how many fights you get. The title fight. I said I don't know, maybe 2, 3. I don't know. And the people say he's pretending. And then I fought one against Dan Miller, exactly. And then I fought for the title. So you never know. Depends how the star are gonna match.
What do you make of Robbie Lawler, who's the champion now? You've been in this division for a while now. I think this is your 9th fight at welterweight. What do you see when you watch him fight? Do you see a guy that you think is very beatable, or do you think that would be a very tough fight for you?
No, it's pretty tough. Of course he's tough. His experience. He's not young. He has a lot of experience. You know what? He did it to Rory. Rory, is great. I fought him. I know he's great. And he was going, he was winning the fight, and Robbie was able to pull the win in the last round, So he's a guy with big heart. He's a guy hard to take down, heavy hands. He deserves to be a champion. I think, I wish I can fight him one day, for the title.
And this was your 7th submission win in your UFC career, the 4th most in history. There's only 3 guys with more submissions. Do you think by the time your career with the UFC is over, you can have the most submission wins in UFC history?
That's a good goal to chase. Yeah, I didn't know that, so now that's one of my goals.
Do you think Robbie Lawler is the champion? Do you think Jiu-jitsu may be the best way to take his title?
In my case, the only way, because I'm not gonna exchange punches with him. You know, his hands are too heavy. You see what he did in the last fight. You know, he's tough. He has a big heart, and you know, and it's hard to take him down. But if I'm able to take him down, I know I can win. You know, pretty much anyone in the division.
And there's only a few guys ahead of you in the rankings at this point. You fought your past 2 fights, guys ranked below you. Do you feel like you should fight, you know, one of the guys above, a Rory McDowell, a Robbie Lawler, Tyrone Woodley, you know, Johnny Hendricks, one of those guys? Is that, you know, what you feel you deserve at this point?
Yeah, I'm sure I deserve it. But like I said, you know, I just gonna rest. Next week we're gonna see that, you know. But you know, I hope now I go be number 4 or at least 5, and you know, of course I want to fight with the top guys. Because I want to fight for the title.
Yeah, and do you feel very healthy coming out of this fight? Obviously you had the training camp, but it seems like you didn't take any damage at all.
No, I'm pretty healthy right now.
Okay.